after me. I'm a man. I'm 40.
And with that, welcome to the first episode of my new podcast, The World According to Me. What is up, everybody? My name is AJTRIP. I have a sports podcast called The Game According to Me. You can look for that on anywhere you can find your podcast. And on my YouTube channel, which is youtube.com/AJTrip or ATriplet20, you can look for that on YouTube. Um, I have a segment on my YouTube channel where that's called The Word According to Me, where basically what I do is I give my opinion on certain topics and things like that. Every now and then I give an opinion on something that is unpopular. So I've hashtagged it an unpopular opinion. So I decided that when I was gonna, well, first off, let me say this. Just recently, I have been I had this set up for about a month, 6 months or 6 weeks. That the name of my podcast was going to be From the Mind of AJ Trip. From the Mind of AJ Trip. That was going to be my podcast name, right? So, and some of you guys might see the URL, and be like, it says From the Mind of AJ Trip. That's because I just changed it yesterday. It wasn't until last week when I started thinking, since my sports podcast called The Game According to Me, I should do The Word According to Me, and it was just and I just changed it. I just changed it yesterday. So I had Sounder FM, who is hosting my podcast, to try to um, get a new thing for a new domain name for my podcast. So now the new title is The Word According to Me. And yes, here we are. First episode. And as you can tell, episode 1 is called I'm a Man, I'm 40. The sound you just heard was the great sound from several years ago, maybe even 15. Jesus, maybe, I don't think it was 20 years ago, but it had to be at least 15, you know, 12 years ago, something like that. Head coach of the Oklahoma State Cowboys football team, Mike Gundy, got upset at a writer for writing a story about um, the receiver or the quarterback. I forget what it was, but they wrote a story about that person who and the reason why he got benched. He got benched for another player behind him, and he wrote a story, and he got upset. Now whether this was performance, trying to look good in front of his team or look good in front of that player, or whether this was how he really felt, who knows? But he gave a rant about it, and he used that phrase, "Come after me. I'm a man. I'm 40." And so I decided to play that just for the beginning of this podcast because I am a man, and I'm going to be 40 tomorrow. Yes, January 11, 1982, I was born. And January 11th, 2022, I will be 40 years old. And that is strange to me. Boy, is that strange to me, y'all. I cannot believe I've made it 40 years. Because it just doesn't seem real. And as I get to 40, I'm starting to feel the things that, people had told me about. And when older folks, you're younger, when older folks tell you things about what's going to happen when you get older, you just say, no, it ain't gonna happen to me. Well, I can safely say it's starting to happen to me. Aches and pains and, you know, just a whole bunch of other stuff that is just going wrong. And I'm starting to feel it. I'm starting to feel it. This is a milestone birthday for a lot of people. Just a lot of people say, hey, it's like I think it starts at 18, right? Or maybe it starts at 16, because 16 you can drive, right? 16 you can drive. 18 you graduate high school and you start to do other things. So 18 is one. Then there's 21, because you can drink when you're 21. Right? You can drink when you're 21. And then I don't know if there's any other like other milestones between 21 and 30, and then that's when you guys start hitting those milestones, and it's usually like the ones by five. You get to 30, 35, 40, 45, 50, and on and on and on, right? Till you hit 65, when most people are eligible to retire and start getting Social Security and all that other stuff, right? That's mostly where it happens and where it comes down to. But my milestone birthday of being 40 is a is one that I just I think when it comes down to it, maybe all of my milestone birthdays I wasn't really celebrated. You know, 16 we didn't have a car, so I wasn't gonna, and we didn't have the money to get a car, or at least at that time we didn't really want a car. Um, so you know, driving whatever. 18, shoot, no, I wasn't gonna fight in the military. I wasn't gonna smoke. I guess you just turned 18 just to turn 18. Excuse me. 21, not that big of a drinker. I've done some drinking in my time, but I'm not that big of a drinker. And so when you start like at 25, yeah, you turn 25. Good for you. But but 30 was one. That was one. That was something where it was like, wow, I'm 30 years old. And when you're 30, you're starting to look at your life. You started wondering, what the hell is happening? What the hell is going on? Right? And at the age of 30, I was, that would have been 2012. At the age of 30, I was staying with my uncle. Um, didn't have a job. Didn't have many friends, or at least many friends that I could hang out with or anything like that. Staying with my uncle, who was starting to lose it, or had lost it, maybe never had it. Um, yeah, and I was not in a place where I was wanting to be. Um, I was very down when I turned 30. Um, because I think I not necessarily sure, but I think I don't know if my mother and my grandmother had at that time left, if by at that time had left to come down here to North Carolina. I don't know if they had or had not done so just yet. Um, but yeah, it was just a lot of things that I just, at 30, the next year when I turned 31, I saw things were going to change. I started going to this graphic design school, and started to learn about that, and I thought maybe that was going to be the thing that was going to just turn my life around, and that was going to be the thing that helped me, you know, start to get into having a life, right? And I spent 5 years doing that. I just wanted to get my associate's degree, do 2 years, and then start working. Couldn't find work, so I had to go back and finish um my bachelor's degree. And when I was a class or two away from that happening, the school closed. School closed. So and I was stuck being nowhere. Stuck just being nothing, right? Just it's just crazy. It's crazy. Then and then at some point, I go through the I was getting student loans to not only pay for my classes, but to pay for my living situation. I was paying for um, housing and my I got an apartment. I had so I was using the money to pay my apartment, my bills, paying the cable bills and the light bill and everything like that. And so I wasn't really able to get that much money. I wasn't able to get the money anymore because the school closed. So what do I do? So I asked my mom if I could, you know, if she could take out a loan for I think it was like $12,000, and she would send me money, you know, every week, and with that money I would, get my food and get my pay my bills and everything like that, so that I could try to find a job, and it didn't work out, and it came down to August, not August, September actually. It came down to September, and I was going to try and go to this thing out in um, it was a long ways away, and from where I lived, and I went out there and I got the job. It's a job. It's one of those jobs that is, you sit down and you call people, you cold call people, trying to make them get appointments for what you do. It's one of those jobs, and I took it because I wanted to stay in Chicago because I did not want to move down here to North Carolina. I love Chicago. It's the greatest city in the world. I wanted to stay in Chicago. I did not want to come down here. I don't want to come down here to North Carolina, but Charlotte, North Carolina, because for several reasons. A couple of personal reasons that I won't get into. Um, but I think one of the biggest reasons was because I just had a feeling, and just had a feeling the way my life has been, the way my life has gone, that if I would have come down to Charlotte, North Carolina, there ain't no way in hell I was going back to Chicago. I would have had to have stayed down here, and it's so far as looking exactly like that. As I as I as that job didn't work out, and I couldn't find any more jobs, and I was gonna get ready to get kicked out of my apartment because I didn't pay the rent, and I already not paid the cable bill, and the light bill was getting behind as well. So I had to have my mom come down here, come up to Chicago and bring me back down here so that I could get on my feet and get some money and then hopefully go back to Chicago. But that has not happened. I have Now I've been down here November 2019. I've now been down here for over 2 years. Over 2 years. And I keep fighting, keep doing things like this podcast, like my other podcast and my sports podcast, and keep doing stuff for my YouTube channel. And I keep I keep hoping that I'll get something in another type of job as well, so that I can save some money, enough money to move back to Chicago, get the fuck up out of this city, because this place, it's so bad. It is so bad. Because first of all, I am a cold person. I am a person that loves the cold, right? Like as of right now, in Chicago, I'm looking at my computer. It is 12 degrees Fahrenheit in Chicago. 12 degrees. That's perfect for me. It's perfect for me. Now, it is cold down here, and it's been cold since the turn of the new year down here. But in December, there was a lot of 50 and 60-degree days, a couple of 70-degree days. That should not be the case when you're in winter. You should not have a 70-degree day in winter. It's garbage. And the places down here is garbage. When you try to order from like the Uber apps, Uber Eats, and like the fucking McDonald's down here, when I order from, they can never get my damn order right. They can never get my damn order right. And then there's places down here that are just like, you know, when you go to, KFC in Chicago, and I would say this is one thing that down here. There's one or two places in Chicago where you can go and get the spicy chicken from KFC. That's spicy chicken from KFC is the best chicken you could ever have. And I would advise you, if you are if you're like if you are somewhere where there's KFC and there's a spicy flavoring that they ask for, they in Chicago they call it spicy crispy. I don't know if they do it anyplace else, but that is the place. That is that is the chicken that you need to get. But they don't have it down here in North Carolina. It's original, grilled, and extra crispy. The place that does have spicy crispy, this Church's Chicken down here, their spicy is pretty good too. So their spicy is pretty good. But this place, it's just God. Like it's almost as if it's a hindrance. I don't even know why. If you're not gonna do the right thing, then just close down the damn restaurant. Shut it down. You know, because I use all of the delivery apps. Uber Eats, Postmates, DoorDash, yada yada yada. All of those, right? So there are times when I open an app and the store, and even though if you go to you go to like the website or the Google or something like that, it tells you that the store is open between such and such a time, like 10 a.m. and 9 p.m. or whatever, right? That's when it's open. But when you go to the app, they're closed. What? They're closed. That's like Uber Eats, right? So then I started realizing that maybe you should go to DoorDash or Grubhub. They're open for those people, right? So okay, you do that, and then you make an order, and you put it there spicy, right? And it's a spicy chicken, and it comes and it's original, or it comes and it's um it's pretty spicy, and the rest is original. I didn't ask for that. I asked for 12 spicy pieces of chicken. Give me 12 spicy fucking pieces of chicken. And then the final thing down here is the pizza. They don't do sausage pizza down here. At least not in the stores. It's the restaurants you can order, the sausage pizza, but the restaurants down here the pizza is very average. They have the Little Caesars, which I've liked for the most part. Although I will admit, the last time I had Little Caesars, I almost didn't want to eat it. So it's that was a weird situation. Like in my taste buds kind of getting tired of Little Caesars. I don't know, but I finally found out that there's a Chicago style pizza place down here, Rosati's. Oh, and that's been a lifesaver. I'm probably going to eat Rosati's pizza tomorrow for my birthday. So that is such a good thing. So I'm probably going to do that. Um, like that. Um, but you go to the stores, there's like no sausage pizza. You got pepperoni, you got sausage and pepperoni, you got cheese, you got deluxe, everything like that. There's no sausage pizza. I'm wondering like what the hell is going on? Why can't you just eat a sausage pizza, right? But I don't get it. And then about 6 or 7 months ago, I was searching because I was like, I was searching for something that maybe I could, find. So I was actually thinking maybe about. I think I was searching for was that I was looking to see if I could possibly buy some home run in pizza, some sausage home run in pizza and have it shipped here. I think that's what I was looking to see if I that could that would be the case. Then I found out that there's a place called Publix. I don't know if it's everywhere. It might be, but it was just down here at Publix, and they had the sausage pizza. I was like, oh, okay. So the next time we went grocery shopping, we went to Publix, and man, oh man, there it was, the sausage pizza, and I couldn't believe from Home Run Inn. That's Home Run Inn has probably has the best frozen pizza, and it possibly has the best pizza in a restaurant. It does, actually, it does. Home Run Inn is just great pizza. Whether you go to the restaurant and go to get it, or whether you get it from the stores, especially the sausage, it has great sausage pizza. We were getting that for every now and then. Every now and then, like maybe once a month, we'd go to Publix and pick up some sausage pizza. And we did that for a few months, until last month when they didn't have it. They actually didn't have it for like the last two times I went there. I was wondering what the hell's going on. Why do I not have sausage pizza? Now I talked to the lady and she says that you know they should have it. You know it should be there. So we'll see. Next time we go to the grocery store, I don't know if it'll be this week. No, I want to go to the grocery store this Friday. I don't know, but maybe the next time we go, maybe in a couple of weeks, we go on a Monday. Then we go to Publix then, and we'll see. And if they don't have it, they said to ask to see what's in the back. So hopefully, cross your fingers that they still have that they still have this pizza, the sausage pizza. So, but yeah, it's it's down here. It's not for me. It just isn't. I need to be in Chicago, in my city, where I'm closer to everything, where I know where everything is. I couldn't see Spider-Man no way from home. Now I haven't been watching movies down here because basically it's two reasons. One, COVID-19, right? COVID-19 hit and everything shut down. So and when they started to open back up, you know, didn't necessarily want to go to the movies. One and two, didn't know if any place was open. Now there's a theater that is down here, but you know you'd have to drive, and I don't have a driver's license, so I would need my mother to drive me there. Um, and the public transportation down here it's pretty bad. There's like, you know, because this isn't like this isn't a big city. You know, Charlotte is somewhat of a big city, but I'm I'm in a suburb of Charlotte called Matthews. Um, and there's no any type of public transportation. Here you would have to walk miles to get to a bus stop. And they don't even have a lot of bus stops from what I've seen. They don't have any trains for transportation, nothing. So to get to places down here, you'd have to have a car or use Uber. And I couldn't go to the movie theaters to see Spider-Man No Way From Home. And I really was thinking about, because I didn't see. I'm a big Marvel guy, so here's my thing about this. Uh, I've only gone to superhero movies, the Fast and the Furious movies, and movies starring Dwayne The Rock Johnson. That's what I said that I was only going to do because I'm a big the superhero movies are really big. I'm really into those, so I'm going to go to those. Um, I've watched the Fast and the Furious movies that started Dwayne Johnson. I've seen those. I like those a lot, so we're gonna go to those. I saw Fast 8 in the movie theaters. I believe that was the one. I did not see the one Fast 9 with John Cena. And obviously Dwayne The Rock Johnson movies, although again when I said that was probably in 2019 and I didn't have the excess capital to start going to Dwayne The Rock Johnson movies. So couldn't go there, right? And I really wanted to go see Spider-Man No Way From Home. Even though I knew the other movies that came out that I didn't get to see, like Black Widow, um, the Shang-Chi and the Legend of the Ten Rings, and the Eternals, all those came out, have been coming out. So, but didn't get to go see those. But I really wanted to go see Spider-Man No Way From Home. At first, I was like, well, I can miss it. But then this thing is, it started coming closer and closer. You started, you know, it started things. You started to hear things, and I was like, huh, I'm actually kind of really want to see this movie, and I just saw something where it's Spider-Man Away From Home has become like the sixth highest grossing movie of all time, and that's good for them. But I couldn't go because there's no public transportation. My mother didn't want to go see it. She didn't really feel like it, so it just is what it is, right? Didn't get a chance to see it, so I got stuck. I'm just stuck down here. And sometimes it really just looks like that. It's just like it's like my prophecy has come true. I didn't want to come down here because I knew there was a very good chance that I would probably stay down here. And I wanted to stay in Chicago, and from the looks of it, that might be the case. Now I'm hoping things will change. I'm hoping things like this podcast right here. I'm hoping my sports podcast, like I said, like my YouTube channel, my Twitch channel. I was when I first get down here, I was able to stream on Twitch and able to stream my video games and everything like that. But I can't stream the Twitch no more because for some reason it's just like the internet won't. It's not strong enough to. Oh, and that's another thing. The internet down here is fucking horrible. It really is. It's just fucking horrible. It really is. Just bad internet, and it won't. It's not strong enough to hook up, for my PlayStation to gain enough upload data so that I can stream on Twitch. So it's just it really is. It's just crazy. I am. I really am down. I am down as I'm heading towards 40 because this is not where I thought my life would be. Let's say 20 years ago. Where would you be when you were 40? Where would you be at when you was 40? I didn't. I don't know if I could have answered that question. Where I would be in 40, but I would have said something that said that I would have been doing something that I cared about, um, work wise. I would have been doing something that I was cared about, that was really into. I would have been in Chicago. I would have had a wife and a couple kids, few kids. Would have had family. Would have had friends. I would have been in a better position. I would have been in a better part of my life than I am now. And I don't have a lot of those things. I have none of those things, really. You know, um, and that sucks. It really sucks, man. And I've got no shout out of any other thing that I can do. Did you talk about, like, having to come down here and with no prospects of no prospects of going back. You know that kind of leads into, like, my personal life as well, right? Because, like I said, I thought maybe I have a wife with some kids. I there's no I don't have anything on the horizon for that, right? First of all, I'm fat and I'm ugly, so that's already, you know when I was 20. When I was 20, I kind of knew that, but when I was 20, I also thought, well, you know, looks isn't everything, and I was very naive. Looks is always everything. Looks go into everything. Looks go into jobs. I wonder if I wasn't fat and good looking, if I would have also had a job. Because you go in these jobs and you go to these job interviews, right? And they can look in your face and they say, "Oh, damn," you know, whether subconsciously or consciously, whatever it is. They look at you and you see you fat, they see you ugly, and they just go, "Nah, he's not the one. He's not the one. I'm not gonna give him a chance." And it's like that with dating. You're fat and ugly. No, you don't get a chance, and that's okay. That's okay. I want to make this very clear. I am not one of these people that says, oh, cries and whines, oh, why can't somebody look at my, past my looks for me? No, that's not how it works in this world. It just doesn't. Sorry. You have to be good looking. You have to be good looking. There's a minute percentage, maybe 2 or 3% of people who don't care about looks, but the other 97 do. And if you're not, and if you're not good looking, and if you're not, in shape or whatever, if no one finds anything attractive about you, then you're going to be, you know, not in the dating world. And that's just how it is. And that's something that I'm trying to come to grips with. I don't, it's not something that I want. You know, I'm still on a lot of dating apps and still trying to figure out exactly why, you know, things are, and still trying. But even then, like, if I did find somebody that found me attractive, right, and I found them attractive, and we started to talk, anything like that, what am I supposed to do, right? I don't have a job, um, you know, it's all down here, like, it's nothing, like, everything combines and comes together, and it all sits in this thing where it's all about, like, what the fuck, right? None of this is going to be good for me. Nothing's going to happen good for me in any part of my life. And then so then when you get that right, and you get that all together, and you talk about, you know, you have nothing good like happening to you in your life, and then those questions set in about, you know, why is this happening? What's why is it life like this? I am not a believer in God. To me, if there was a God, things like this happening to me would not be happening, right? And then when you go like across, things across the world, like we wouldn't have things like cancer. We wouldn't have things like COVID-19 wouldn't happen. You know, we wouldn't have senseless killings, and we wouldn't have drugs. We wouldn't have all of these other things that are just these other horrible things that happen in this world. Why would a God want that for his people, right? His quote unquote children. Why would he want that? Why would he want somebody like Chicago radio personality Jeff Dickerson? Why would he do this to this man? Why would he do that to his son? His son, who his mother, Jeff Dickerson's wife, died from cancer 2 years ago. And just recently, in December 20, a couple of weeks ago, December like 28th, I believe it was, he dies from cancer, Jeff Dickerson, leaving Parker at 11 years old without a mother and a father. You're gonna tell me that God God did that? Now, if you want to tell me that, yeah, there is a God, but he has no control over what happens down here on Earth, I would say, okay, okay, that's something that could be reasonable. That maybe there is a higher power, and it may be that there's nothing down here on Earth that you know that that he has control over. That he does. He can't. He can't just snap his fingers and make COVID go away, or snap his fingers and make cancer go away. It's just a part of when he created the world. You know, it just was the side effects of creating the world that there had to be the bad to go along with the good to complete the balance, right? But nobody who believes in God tells you that. They never tell you that. They always tell you that God has a way of giving you strength, and God has a way of making things work for you. Really, He does? Really? You think? Do you think? Do you think? From all points, everybody says that everybody has said Jeff Dickerson was a wonderful, wonderful person. So why are they giving him all of those horrible dealings with? Why is God doing that? So I don't believe in God, and don't believe that that he has anything over that you can't pray to him and make your pain go away. You can't pray to him and make things go away. You can't thoughts and prayers are hopes and wishes. That's what they are. When someone says my thoughts and prayers are with somebody, it's your hopes and wishes, right? Because God, there is no God, and if there was a God, He's not hearing your prayers and your thoughts. So that's the big thing. So for me, you know, when I'm looking around here and I'm like, well, Jesus, what's the way to go about this? Um, you just look at it, you go, Like what can you do to change it? I'm trying to, but what can you do to change it? This is just how life is. And I guess life was, you know, just set out for my life to just suck. And, that's something that I really hate. I think it just sucks for me to be heading into my 40th birthday and just not knowing how, just not knowing what's going to happen over the next, you know, over the next of my lifetime, right? It's kind of interesting, right? Because I don't think I'm the first person who at 40 is who is like down on his luck or anything like that, or who is just not in the right place, the place they would want to be at, right? I don't think I'm the first person. I know I'm not the first person, right? Every now and then I think about that guy, who about a decade ago, who was homeless, living on the street, and but he had a great voice, and somebody came up recorded him, doing like a thing on the radio, and he did like that, and he all of a sudden became this like star, for a little bit, and he had people wanting to, hire him to do voice work and voice acting and things like that, and he did things for macaroni and cheese and other things like that. I think he was over 40, maybe even over 50. But something happened, things turned around for him. Now I don't know where this guy is at. I do know that like he was, unfortunately, I believe he was an addict. That's why he was, got kind of homeless. And and he still had some problems even when people started to help. Because remember, he was on Dr. Phil trying to get one Dr. Phil to help him with his addict and everything like that. So but it's just stories, and and you hear about stories about it's not like mine, but you hear someone like they've been down on their luck for years or something like that, and then all of a sudden something happens, and when they're 40 in the 40s, and they're able to do something, or they make a change in their life, and they do something differently, or they or hell, even sometimes they even go back to school, right? But I've done my schooling. Even when I came down here, I did an online class for computer technology, because they were talking about, you know they were saying something like you can get a job within 6 or 8 weeks, 10 weeks, something like that. They something like that. So I was like, this is perfect. I'll do this class, and then I can start working in 6 7 weeks, and then I can get the money, and I'll be I'll be back up to Chicago as quick as I came down. Yeah, I'm still here, right? I've got no sign of doing anything that I did that I did anything for. No signs of nothing. Not a damn thing. So what does my future look like? I don't know, because I still would love to have a family and have kids, but I'm 40, right? And like we just mentioned earlier, I'm fat and I'm ugly. So and I'm not rich, right? Because rich would offset the fat and ugly, but I'm not rich, so I'm not going to. I'm more than likely not gonna, pull a woman that's maybe in her early 30s, maybe mid 30s, early to mid 30s, so that we can have kids, right? And sure, women have had kids past 40. They, hell, even a couple of her even had kids in their 50s, probably. But but you know, no, that is not the fact that I would want to be an old father. I think I could deal with that. If I wouldn't be able to do the things that, things like playing catch or playing football with kids or anything like that. But also, as a woman gets older, it becomes a more high risk pregnancy, and you have things could happen where the kid could have developmental disabilities. And I wouldn't want to put that on my child just because I wanted to have a kid, you know, you're saying, so I would probably prefer to date someone younger, right? So that wouldn't be the case. If I would date somebody my age, like in my 40s. Now, good luck. My cousin she had a kid in her 40s, and the little kid, the child is beautiful, and she's such a beautiful, and she's a ball, a bundle of joy, right? So, that's not so. None of that is going to be the case with her. But again, I talk about my life, and that would probably be the case for mine, right? And I just wouldn't want to do that to my child. You know, if I want to have a kid, I want to try to make sure the kid has the best opportunities in the world. You know, everything to succeed, to have everything that I didn't have. That's what you want to do when you're a parent. You want to give your kid the things that you did not have. And I don't know if I would be able to do that. It's it's an older woman, and I keep talking about that as if I'm gonna ever get a woman. I really, I just, there's part of me that says that's not happening either. I'm 40. Come on now. Again, that's just not gonna happen. Nothing's gonna happen, right? Is anything going to change? You know, I was talking to myself. I talk to myself a lot. I'm not crazy. I promise you. Some people say if you talk to yourself, you're crazy. And there's some people that say it's not talking to yourself that makes you crazy. If you answer yourself, that's what makes you crazy. I talk and I answer myself all the time. So maybe I am crazy. Just put that on another checklist is what is of what is a mark against me. I'm crazy. But I was talking to myself the other day. I was saying, it's just I find it so depressing where I'm at right now in my life. You know, and it wouldn't be so depressing um if I had something to look forward to, right? If I felt like there was a way for me to get out of this. But it doesn't look like there's a way for me to get out of this. You know? And I was, I've always talked about, again, to myself, about a break. If I could just catch a break, right? Back in my mid 20s, it was some of this might seem off tilted and off kilter and a little bit of kind of heckle jekyll. I will admit this is probably a bad day for me to do this new podcast, but because it's the Monday after the last game of the regular season at the NFL, and my favorite team, the Chicago Bears, have both fired their head coach and their GM. So I'm also looking at that and listening to stuff and watching stuff. So, but I'll try to continue with this, and I'll try to make it make sense. I think I have for the most part, and try to wrap this up all in big one bow in the next 5 to 10 minutes. But like I was saying, I was always looking for that break. When I in my mid 20s, I got a break to go to broadcasting school, the Illinois Center for Broadcasting. Now it's called Illinois Media School. And I thought that would be my break, right? I would get into it, I got a dream internship. I got a dream internship working at Kiss FM, 103.5 Kiss FM. It's a top 40 station. I listen to it all the time. I got an internship working with the guy that I would listen to all the time at nighttime. And the nighttime job internship there, and they were starting to do like their own social media platform, and I was asked about maybe what I think about maybe wanted to do some work with that, and I was going, yeah, sure. I always wanted to try, and I still today listen to that station. I'm down here. I listen to the station. I listen to now the podcast version of the show that they do. And one of the guys on that show, I listened to it, I go, that could have been me. That could have been me because, he did the same thing. He came after me because I remember listening to him on the night show. He came after me, and that was in 2007, and here it is now 2020, and he's still working at that station on doing part of their highly successful morning show. That was me in 2006. I was there. But unfortunately, again, it was taken away from me because a caller misunderstood what I was trying to do. I was trying to go that extra mile and trying to book a guest for the show, right? But the caller thought that I was trying to hit on her, and she called and complained, you know and then they had to fire me. So then I got fired from a dream job and never got the opportunity to do anything else in radio ever again. That's what my life has been like. Exactly with me. So then, like I talked about, did all that shit, spent all those years. I still graduated from the school and everything, but I tried to go and do anything and just could not do anything. So that was that. I went, a couple more years with that, and my mother, she at that time, she was telling me that she was going to leave Chicago. She's going to come down here to North Carolina. But she was trying to help me out. That she's always has. My mother has been my rock, my constant. She means everything to me. I don't know what I would do without her. And so I tried to, so she knew that she didn't want to leave me in Chicago with nothing. So she tried to help me out even by let me do something. So I thought maybe I could do pharmacy tech. Okay, let's do pharmacy tech. So I did pharmacy tech. Um, and so I did that. I did that for about 4 months. Every Saturday went up to the class, didn't like that. Then I got an internship there. Well, I interned at a CVS doing pharmacy tech. I was a pharmacy tech intern where I would fill the prescriptions for people. Right, I would fill the prescriptions for people. Um, and so I did that, and I did the class, and I passed it. I graduated. Whatever you want to say. Couldn't find a job doing that. Could not find a job. I went on one job interview, but I could not find a job doing that. That's what my life has been like. So then they leave, and like I mentioned earlier, I was living with my uncle, and in 2013, and I was really in bad shape. I was just, you know, all of 2012, the entire year, it was just thing after thing after thing, and it was just because I remember I was looking at one particular. Twitter was around that time. It was still around at the time, and I was looking at one particularly person on Twitter, and kind of had a crush on her, even though I was you know there was no way anything was gonna happen. I was she was a former reality star. Um, she's a former reality star, and she kind of doing the model slash video girl type thing. She was doing what today would be called an influencer. I think that's what she was doing. She would have been, she was doing that. She would do things like, she would host clubbings and things like that. She was gorgeous, sexy, everything. And I remember I would kept refreshing her page to see the next tweet or see the uh um next picture that would come up. I would just I was doing that before I was going to make. I I wanted that life. I wanted that life. And when they say that life that maybe she was living, I think it was two things. I wanted the life I wanted was the life of doing something fun and exciting and being out there. I wanted that life. And secondly was I wanted a woman like her. Wanted to be with a woman like her. Wanted to date a woman like her. Wanted to have a woman like her in my life. Someone that I could create a life with, share a life with, have kids with, yada yada yada. And I was nowhere close for that to happen. And I was really in a bad place. And then I kind of decided, I just wanted something needed to happen. A change really needed to happen because my uncle he lost his job because he was working and he lost his job and he started to hang around with these crackheads and he really I don't know what the hell he wanted. I don't know what he wanted, but whatever he wanted, he thought the crackheads would give it to him. I don't know what the hell. So and all I could do was just go, damn, I got to do something. I got to get out of this house. I got to get away from him. So I thought maybe graphic design would be the way. I was, I was trying. I don't know. It just whatever it is, but I thought graphic design would get away, and I thought this would be the break. And God damn it, when I got it. I got into the graphic. I actually got into two graphic design schools, but I chose one over the other. I thought the other one. I thought the one that I went to would be better. And I got into it, and yeah, and then and that was early in 2013. I got into early 2013, and I got into it, and I was liking what I was doing. I really did. I was liking what I was doing. I was having fun. I was out there. I was going out. I was meeting new people that that I thought would be that I thought that was a good thing. I was getting out, getting getting sunshine as well because at that point I was staying in the house most of the time. Wasn't going out getting sunshine. The doctor I was seeing at the time had me on iron because I wasn't getting enough of sunshine. I wasn't getting enough vitamin D, so they was needed iron. So he put me on iron. And when I started doing all of that, and another time I went back and saw him, he's you can stop taking iron. You're getting you're getting your sunshine thing. So anyway, but yeah, it's so I got out there and I was doing all of that. I thought that was good, and I think at one point, you know, I kind of decided that I was talking to I was talking to something because I was getting the loans for to go to school, and I think someone may have someone I was talking to may have said you can get loans for these student loans can to help pay for your pay for your room and board in places. I was like, really? So I started to think. So I started looking for apartments, and I was searching. And I found an apartment that I liked. It was out. It was away from the hood. It was away from the hoods and the hood rats and the crackheads, and away from my uncle. It was on the north side of Chicago in Rogers Park. It was a small apartment, but I liked it. It was away from everything that I wanted to get away from. And when you know it, again, my mother, she co-signed, and I got the apartment, and I moved up there, and I was in my own apartment. I had my own. It's so good, such a damn good place to be in. And I really thought that was gonna be just play out there. I was gonna do this thing, get my associates, start doing graphic design. Who knows where that would lead me to? I just thought, damn, I caught my break, right? And then I graduated from associate's degree, right? I went out there and I started looking, and I couldn't find jobs. I couldn't find jobs, and I didn't have the money because I didn't have the money to pay my rent or anything like that. So I said, well, what I have to do is I have to go back and get my bachelor's degree so that I can go and start and get the student loans so that I can pay for my apartment. So I did that. I went back, get the bachelor's degree, um, so I started getting the student loans, and little by little, it started to creep up on me that now, as in when I was associate, the classes were fun, they were exciting, and because I was heading towards something, now the classes were tedious, and they were doing things that I did not care to do, and it started to turn on me, and I started to go, Jesus, do I really want to do this? Do I really want to do this? And And every time I was watching YouTube, and I was doing things like that. I was watching YouTube. I got a laptop, so I was watching YouTube on my laptop, watching YouTube videos, and I started watching one in particular, Tyrone Magnus. And Tyrone Magnus, his videos were he would sit down, watch a video, and basically react to it. It's called a reaction video, and react to it. And he would laugh, or he would not laugh. If it was a try not to laugh. And he would sit and talk about the video or whatever. It was whatever he would do, and it really caught my eye. And so that was interesting. Then he started doing, I think he started doing videos about how to do, how to become a YouTube or something like that. So I kind of said, well, maybe I can do that. That sounds something that I like to do. I can sit down, like with videos and stuff like that. So I February of 17, right? It was February of 2017. Now I actually tried this before at one point. When I was doing radio. Um, I thought, well, I would do YouTube videos and put them up on there, kind of doing the radio thing. I was trying to do, you know, I was trying to do podcasts on YouTube before you were actually doing podcasts on YouTube, right? So I tried to do that, and that didn't, help out with my broadcast career anyway. But so I already had a YouTube channel, so then I got a desktop, I got some editing software, I got all this other stuff, I downloaded XSplit from, and XSplit is I think XSplit is the best software to use to do reaction videos too, because you can just put them up there and it just pops up and you can hit, something like that, and it's so easy. It's really is. It's the easiest thing to do. So I downloaded XSplit Broadcaster, and I started my career. And I started trying to do reaction videos. I started to try to do other videos. I started to do try not to laugh and everything like that. I was trying to everything do things, and but I wasn't. Again, I wasn't getting there like I thought maybe I would. I wasn't getting the views, wasn't getting the subscribers, I wasn't doing anything. So, and I think here's a mistake that I might have made, is I think I bought subscribers from a place that said they would give you subscribers, and I bought subscribers, and I wondered if that really hindered, because I was searching for videos on people saying how to what grow, right? How do you grow? How do you grow on YouTube? And one woman who videos I saw, she said that she bought subscribers, and that's how they help to grow. So I said, okay, well maybe that's what I should do. Maybe that's how I should grow. And I did it, and I got around 2,000 subscribers, 20 around. I think maybe get close to 3,000 subscribers, close to 3,000 subscribers after I bought them. So I was doing videos. And even though I had 3,000 subscribers, the videos were getting 2, 3, 4 views, maybe even for the most part, most of my videos. Every now and then I do a video and it would catch on, and it would get maybe a couple hundred, a few hundred views, and there was even some that started to get 1,000 views. I was like, wow, okay, so, but it's it hasn't worked out the way I wanted to do. I have not grown. I'm just, like I said, I bought those subscribers and I got up to 3,000. And if you look at my page now, I'm at 2,600, just under 27,000, 2,700 people. So I still have not gained many subscribers. And again, I go back and I do wonder if did that did that hurt me? Did that really hurt me? And so there's that. And there's a lot of other things as well about that. And so then at some point, I came across wanting to do the podcast. I did the podcast. At first, and I guess I could say I was doing gaming, and I need to wrap this up. So I was doing gaming, but on YouTube, and then I started Twitch on. I started doing the Twitch thing. Maybe I would start doing it on Twitch, and Twitch was a little bit different. I started to, grow on Twitch, but still, it was still like the same thing. I was getting, I got like maybe 100, 200, 300 some followers, but again, I was still only getting, I wasn't getting too many, and I wasn't getting too many views, and the views I were getting were, it was from Twitch used to have accounts. And they cracked down on it about a year and a half ago. But there would be accounts that would lurk. I guess they would lurk, and then, so that if you like, I don't know, I forget how it worked, but if you did, it would know that you would, lurking. So then you would come up, and if you sign on to these accounts, they would like do everything, and then they would count it as a view. So then you would come up, oh, you have 6 views, but those only 6 views you had were these other Twitch accounts. And because I was trying to get to affiliate, so this is where you get to affiliate. So, but again, still, that really didn't help. either in my journey here, and I've got a podcast, and I was doing podcasts, and then I switched from one thing where you can only do 15 minutes, Spreaker, 15-minute podcast. If for free, if you're paid, you can do as much as you want to. But I switched from that to Anchor FM a while ago, and I got my sports podcast, The Game According to Me, is on Anchor FM, and I get some views on that, not as much as I would like, but I get some views on that. So, and now here we are with this podcast, and I'm hoping that again this is going to be the start of something for me to maybe catch that break. I need one last break, and I'm hoping that this might be the one, either that or winning some money from somewhere. You know, would be that one last break that I would need. Because all I need to do is just need to get back to Chicago. If I can get back to Chicago, and I think my mom would want to come with me. You know, I think she moved from Chicago to Charlotte because she wanted to be closer to her sister who lived down here. Her sister has now gone to New Orleans to be closer to one of her grandchildren. The cousin that I talked about earlier, who had a child, um, in her 40s, she's going to be with her, so that the child could grow up knowing who she is. But in real life, she's kind of left her sister here, kind of hanging. And there's some other things here. She did have a husband, but he has passed away. I don't think this is the only thing I'll say. I don't think either one of us are sad that has passed away. Um, maybe at some point, I'll I'll go into more detail talking about that. I don't know. I don't want to put her stuff out on the world. I did it once. I did it when there was stuff going down. I did it once, and that wasn't cool. But I was just worried about her and my mother. So worried about my mother. But so yeah, here we are, starting a new podcast, starting a new way to live, and hopefully I catch that one last break, because I'm a man and I'm 40 and my life is garbage, and I don't want it to be garbage anymore. I want my life to be some semblance of a life, and hopefully this is one of the things that helps me start that way. So there it is, y'all. My first new podcast. Um, this was maybe a bit of I don't know. Maybe you might think this was a downer. Maybe you might think this was, you know, maybe therapy. Maybe it was. Who knows? Um, but yes, I definitely I wanted to talk about me being 40 and my life, and how I see it going forward, and how would like it going forward. Everything like that. For my first podcast, this is what I wanted to do, because I was going to start it. But tomorrow, being my 40th birthday, yeah, we can do that. And speaking of that, tomorrow I'm also recording my sports podcast. We will be talking about many things that we're going on in football. We have team. There's a college football game, the national championship game. We're going to be talking about that. And we're going to be talking about firings. There have been some firings. I talked about that I was kind of distracted a little bit because my Bears have fired their head coach and their general manager. Um, the Vikings have fired their coach and general manager, and the Dolphins have fired their head coach. So far, I have not checked it. I had the TV paused because I wanted to go and just stop with the distractions and finish this first new podcast. So a lot of things, you can check that out again wherever you find your podcasts. If you just search The Game According to Me, I'm sure it's up there. I have that on many places. So yeah, you go ahead and check that out. Definitely. This is also going to, I should have mentioned this in the first one, but this is also going to be on YouTube. So if you are listening to this on YouTube, right, you can look in the description box down below, and I should have all the places where you can find my podcast in audio form, right? This isn't going to, what you are seeing now over on YouTube. You're just seeing like my podcast logo, but you are hearing me talk. So you can go down there if you're saying this is a weird way to listen to a podcast, but although I listen to some podcasts over YouTube as well, but usually I'm seeing the people. You're not seeing me. So this is something that you said. Well, I don't have to do this on YouTube. I can just listen to the podcast. Yes, my links are down in the description box below. All the places where you can find um my sports podcast and also this podcast. So there you have it. All right, y'all. I want to thank you guys so much for listening to my very first podcast on this new podcast genre, The World According to Me. This is going to be once a month for right now. Now I will be back next month as we talk about Valentine's Day. That should be interesting. All right, y'all. Thank you guys so much for listening. This is your boy AJTRIP signing off. As always, be good to each other, y'all. Be careful out there. And I am out.